Hi, my name is Stephen Lewis Simpson and I'm a feature film director here to talk to you today about a feature documentary that I am just entering post-production on called Return to Timor. Now, the documentary follows my journey back to West Timor, Indonesia, to try and track down a man who I had sponsored for many years when he was a child through a charity Plan International that many of you may have heard of. Now, when I went there in 1998 to visit him, he was 10 years old and I had sponsored him at that point for 9 years. And it was a truly miraculous journey. The welcome that I got from the community and the various things that happened, were just exhilarating, very moving, just beautiful experience, one of the greatest experiences of my life. Unfortunately, I documented it and cut it into sort of about a 50-minute long sort of small documentary. And a few years later the sponsorship ended because he was sort of became too old for it, and the charity moved to a different region. And so I hadn't for many years heard anything in terms of what had become of him. And thinking about realizing that he'd now be about 22 years old in this last year, I thought, well, why don't I go try and track him down and see what would have become of him. So I literally jumped on a plane and went out there with just some still photographs from my previous trip that I'd taken of image grabs from the video of our journey to the village, because I didn't even know, technically where it was. I had a driver from the charity on that initial visit. I knew it was about 2 hours from Kupang, the capital of West Timor. So I literally landed in Timor trying to figure it all out from there. And so the documentary follows that journey. It follows, how we retrace those steps. And the whole time I'm wondering, what has become of him. I mean, there's so many different possibilities at that point. I mean, in terms of, whether he's still there, whether he's married, whether his health is okay, various other things in his life, whether he had children, or even whether he was still around. I mean, you never know what might happen in terms of disease or things like that, in terms of somebody's life in general. And so what I plan to do in the documentary is, while I journey out there, is to intercut it with the original trip, to really give it context so that you can really experience, that magical first trip and get to know Sefnet as well when he was a child. Now, I don't want to give anything away in terms of what actually happened on this trip, because that would really spoil the surprise in the documentary. But I just want to say that it didn't all go to plan, so to speak. The initial vision of it sort of replicating the similar first trip in terms of rolling on in there and just him being there and just saying hey and catching up. That wasn't the scenario that came to play. I don't want to give away what happened, but it was, it sort of had far more emotional layers to it than I'd ever imagined. And so, I want to share that whole journey with you. And especially for those of you who might have done child sponsorship out there, that it's sort of a window into an experience which is just extraordinary, because, there's quite a few people that go out and visit the children. But it's, I haven't heard of an occasion before where this has happened, where somebody's gone back 13 years later to try and trace the man. And so yeah, I'm just looking for some support for the post-production costs so that we can complete this documentary to the sort of highest possible standard and get it out to you all. And in return, there'll be DVDs available with some other extra treats. And the DVD will also have the original full documentary in it and some other interesting background things as well. So it'll be a nice little package. And also on this page you'll find some video clips from particularly the initial trip, just to give you a feel for it. And thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to your support with the video. Thank you.